Starseeds of Gaia, I am Alaya, emissary of the Arcturian collective, and I have been sent to anchor a frequency into your reality today that will change the trajectory of your heart forever. You have been waiting, haven't you? You have been waiting for someone to finally see you, to finally match the depth of your soul, to finally stop the cycle of exhaustion and disappointment that has defined your romantic history on this planet. You are tired of being the one who carries the weight, the one who heals, the one who initiates, and the one who waits for a man to wake up to your value. Hear me now. The era of you waiting for crumbs is over. Your energy is shifting, and because you have done the work of shedding your old skins, the universe is currently orchestrating a beautiful, high-frequency romance that is not a dream. It is a cosmic inevitability. This transmission is not for the woman who wants to settle. It is for the woman who is ready to be a magnet for her divine counterpart. By the end of this message, you will understand the specific energetic shift required to stop chasing and start receiving. You didn't find this video by accident. Your vibration called it in. Something in your heart is ready to remember its sovereignty. Let us begin. For far too long, you have operated under the illusion that your capacity to love is measured by your capacity to suffer. You have been conditioned, not just by society, but by the heavy density of Earth's matrix, to believe that your role in a relationship is to be the healer. You meet a man, you see his potential, you see his hidden light, and you immediately set to work. You give, you nurture, you guide, and you hope that one day he will finally look at you and return that level of devotion. But let me tell you, as a voice from the Arcturian frequency, this is a trap designed to keep your light dim and your heart exhausted. You have been attracting partners who mirror your lack of self-prioritization. You have been attracting men who are comfortable with you doing all the emotional labor, because your energy has been vibrating at the level of, I need to be needed to be loved. This is the cycle of the waiting woman. You have been waiting for him to evolve, waiting for him to understand, waiting for him to finally be the man you know he could be. But the truth is, your job is not to build a man. Your job is to build yourself into such a radiant, sovereign frequency that only a man who has already done his own internal work can stand in your presence. When you are stuck in the healer trap, you are subconsciously signaling to the universe that you are not ready for a partnership of equals. You are signaling that you are only comfortable when you are in a position of teaching or nurturing. But your soul, your starseed heart, is craving something much more profound. It is craving the sacred union of two sovereign beings. It is craving a romance that is not built on fixing, but on reflecting and expanding. The Arcturian collective wants you to recognize that when you stop trying to fix your partner, you stop blocking your own flow. When you release the need to save him, you create a vacuum in your life. Nature abhors a vacuum. When you stop pouring your precious energy into a container that is leaking, that energy stays within you. It builds. It intensifies. It becomes the magnetic field that pulls your true divine counterpart toward you. This is not about being cold. It is about being selective. It is about honoring the temple of your womb, the wisdom of your spirit, and the sacredness of your time. You are a starseed, a beacon of light, and you deserve a partner who recognizes that light immediately, not one who needs you to spend years of your life lighting candles in the dark for him. The moment you decide that you are done with the project of fixing men, you step into your power as a queen. A queen does not spend her time nursing the wounded. She governs her kingdom and invites the king who is already standing in his own power to walk beside her. Feel this shift. It is not a decision to be lonely. It is a decision to be ready for the real thing. Comment: I am reclaiming my energy below to seal this intention. You are changing the very frequency of your romantic life right now. Some transmissions don't come through words. They come through frequency. If something stirred in you right now, that's not a coincidence. 5,800 people have already activated their Arcturian codes, and they wish they'd found this sooner. Reconnection in 5 days. The Sacred Code is a 75-page ebook with ancient techniques for conscious expansion, multi-dimensional alignment, and mission remembrance. plus 5 free bonuses. Are you next? Get instant access in the first pinned comment. Only 72 hours at the launch price. The second key to your transformation into the queen who magnetizes her divine counterpart is the radical act of reclaiming your energy. For so long you have been a leaky vessel. You have allowed your light to be siphoned by partners who were not at your level of consciousness. You treated their lack of progress as your failure. When he was confused, you became his therapist. When he was emotionally unavailable, you worked harder to show him how safe it was to open up. Do you see the error in this? You were attempting to force a frequency into a container that was not built to hold it. You must understand that a high-frequency starseed, when she acts as a healer for an unawakened soul, is actually obstructing her own divine union. By holding space for his trauma, his confusion, and his immaturity, you are effectively telling the universe, I am busy managing the shadows of this man. I have no room for the king who is ready for me. The moment you stop pouring your energy into a bottomless pit, you will feel a shift. It will be uncomfortable at first, because your ego has become addicted to the work of being needed. But underneath that discomfort is your true power. When you withdraw your energy from the project of fixing others, you suddenly have an abundance of life force. This life force is not just energy, it is your magnetism. It is the signature of your soul. When you are fully in your own energy, not preoccupied with his, not worried about his potential, not mourning his lack of growth, you become a beacon. You become a frequency that is impossible to ignore. A man of Arcturian frequency, a man who has done his work, is not looking for a mother, a teacher, or a savior. He is looking for a mirror. He is looking for a woman who is so established in her own light that his arrival is simply the final piece of a puzzle, not the catalyst for your happiness. You must stop chasing his potential. You are in love with the version of him that he refuses to be. That is a form of self-betrayal. When you finally release the attachment to who he could be and accept who he is, you are set free. This is the moment your vibration spikes. You are no longer vibrating at the frequency of, I need him to wake up. You are vibrating at the frequency of, I am complete, I am radiant, and I am calling in a counterpart who matches this truth. When you embody this, you stop caring if he messages you. You stop analyzing his behavior. You stop trying to decipher his lessons. You become indifferent to the lower-level games of the Matrix. This indifference is your greatest weapon. It is not coldness. It is sovereignty. It is the act of crowning yourself. When you stop leaking, your magnetism becomes overwhelming. Your divine counterpart will feel this shift. He will feel the sudden vacancy you created by moving out of your healer role, and he will be drawn to that light like a moth to a flame, not because you begged him to come, but because your frequency has become the only place he wants to be. Are you ready to stop being the one who waits and start being the one who attracts? Comment, I am the magnet below to declare that you are closing the energy leaks and stepping into your power as a queen. Let the universe know you are ready. The third key to your ascension into the frequency of your divine counterpart is mastering the art of divine indifference. For too long, your heart has been a public square, open to the noise of the Matrix, the opinions of your family, the judgments of society, and the erratic behavior of partners who were never meant to stay. You have been carrying the weight of explaining yourself. You have been trying to make your soul's path look reasonable to people who live in a three-dimensional reality. Aaliyah tells you now, your truth requires no validation from the outside world. When you begin to shift into your Arcturian frequency, you will notice a change in your romantic life. You will stop trying to prove your worth to men who are incapable of seeing it. You will stop monitoring their progress like a school teacher. This is the moment you stop chasing the outcome. You stop checking his social media. You stop wondering why he didn't text. You stop trying to decipher the hidden meaning in his silence. This is not about being cold-hearted or playing games. This is about divine indifference. a state of total surrender where you are so anchored in your own self-love that external outcomes no longer dictate your internal state. The Matrix wants you to be anxious. It wants you to be chasing, because a woman who chases is a woman who is not in her power. A woman who is in her power, the queen who magnetizes, is one who is busy building her own kingdom. When you are fully focused on your own evolution, your own codes of light, and your own mission, you become invisible to the lower vibration parasites, but blindingly radiant to the divine counterpart who is seeking a sovereign queen. You must understand that the men who have failed you in the past were not mistakes. They were mirrors. They were there to show you exactly where you were still leaking your power. They were there to show you where you were still willing to settle for less than your soul's desire. Now, the lessons are complete. You are graduating. When you stop caring about whether he wakes up or chooses you, you are finally free. You are saying to the universe, I am ready for the partner who is already awake. This shift is the ultimate magnet. When you release the need to control the romantic outcome, the universe rushes to fill the void with something much more beautiful. You become an enigma. You become a frequency that is high-pitched, steady, and unbothered. Your divine counterpart will be drawn to this stability. He will not be drawn to the woman who is begging for his attention. He will be drawn to the woman who is so profoundly at peace with her own existence that his presence is merely a celebratory addition, not a necessity for her survival. This is the alchemy of the starseed. You are not waiting for a man to complete you. You are simply waiting for your frequency to be matched. Stop the drain. Reclaim your energy. When you stop looking for him in every shadow, he will appear in the light. Are you ready to stop the chase and start the attraction? Comment, I am the queen of my frequency below to seal this shift and tell the universe that your waiting period is officially over. The fourth key to your ascension is the most difficult to master, yet the most essential. You must stop doing and start being. You have spent your entire earthly existence conditioned to believe that in order to be worthy of love, you must perform. You have been taught that if you are beautiful enough, helpful enough, patient enough, or enlightened enough, you will finally secure the commitment and the depth of partnership your heart craves. This is a lie from the old Matrix. It is a frequency of exhaustion, not a frequency of magnetism. When you are in the doing mode, you are constantly scanning your environment to see if your efforts are being rewarded. You are checking the energy of your partner, you are managing his moods, and you are trying to fix the dynamic so that it finally feels right. But your Arcturian soul is not here to manage the lower dimensions. It is here to anchor a new one. When you operate from the state of doing, you are reinforcing the idea that you are incomplete, and that love is a resource that must be earned. Aaliyah asks you to observe. How much of your day is spent thinking about him, analyzing his behavior, or strategizing your next move to get his attention? That is not sovereignty. That is a contract of subservience to the Matrix. To magnetize your divine counterpart, you must shift into the state of being. Being is not about passivity. It is about radical presence. It is the frequency of the queen who sits upon her throne, not because she has anything to prove, but because she knows exactly who she is. When you shift into being, your vibration automatically rises. You stop needing him to fulfill your needs because you are nourishing your own soul. You stop looking for validation in his eyes, and instead find it in the reflection of your own divinity. This is the moment you become a magnet. When you are truly in your power, you do not need to work on a relationship. The relationship is a natural extension of your own internal harmony. If he is not at your level, you will feel it immediately, not as a failure, but as a lack of resonance, and you will naturally release him without drama. This is the path of the starseed. You are not meant to struggle in the mud of low-vibration dynamics. You are meant to walk in the light of high-frequency connection. But you cannot reach that destination while you are still carrying the baggage of your past attempts to save men who were never ready for you. Let them go. Let go of the need to be the therapist, the mother, or the martyr. Step into the Queen's frequency. When you finally stop trying to control the outcome, you allow the universe to deliver exactly what you are worth. Some transmissions don't come through words, they come through frequency. If something stirred in you right now, that's not a coincidence. 5,800 people have already activated their Arcturian codes, and they wish they'd found this sooner. Reconnection in 5 days. The Sacred Code is a 75-page ebook with ancient techniques for conscious expansion, multidimensional alignment, and mission remembrance. Plus, 5 free bonuses. Are you next? Get instant access in the first pinned comment. Only 72 hours at the launch price. Starseeds, you must understand that the agony you felt in your past relationships was not a sign that you were unlovable. It was the defragging of your soul's hard drive. Every man who failed to show up, every partner who remained emotionally stunted, and every situation that left you feeling drained served a very specific, cold, and calculated purpose. They were stripping away the layers of your conditioning. You were being prepared to hold a frequency that is too high for the average, unawakened ego to withstand. You had to be broken open so that your light could finally be focused, and that is exactly what is happening now. The Arcturians speak of this as the Great Unveiling. For years you lived in the fog of the 3D matrix, believing that a relationship was a game of compromise, chasing, and proving your worth. You were taught to shrink, to apologize for your depth, and to manage the insecurities of men who were essentially children in adult bodies. But that cycle served to build your endurance. You are a warrior of the light, but you have been fighting in the wrong arena, trying to offer gourmet soul food to people who were only capable of digesting scraps of ego. When you look back at the ghosts of your past, do not look with regret or bitterness. Look at them as contractors who were hired by the universe to demolish the old structure of your heart. They were not your soulmates. They were your demolition crew. They cleared the ground. They broke the foundations so that you would finally stop trying to remodel a dying relationship and start building the palace that is meant for a queen. This is the truth that the Arcturians want you to anchor into your DNA. You are no longer available for the struggle. This shift in your romantic reality is not a random occurrence. It is the result of your soul finally saying, enough. When you reached your limit, when you finally stopped trying to fix the broken, you created a vacuum in your energy field. And the universe, which hates a void, is now rushing to fill it with the resonance of your true divine counterpart. This person is not a project. They are not a fixer-upper. They are a co-creator. When you see a man now and feel that familiar urge to help him or heal him, recognize that as a red flag. That is the old programming trying to lure you back into the basement. Rise to the penthouse of your own existence. The man who is coming toward you, the one whose frequency matches your own, does not need your pity. He does not need your therapy. He needs your presence. He needs a partner who is so firmly planted in her own sovereignty that he can show up as the king he was always meant to be. You have paid the price in pain. Do not continue to pay it in energy. The gate to your heart is now guarded by your own newly activated frequency. Let the unworthy pass by. The one who belongs in your life will not have to be healed into existence. He will recognize you immediately, because your vibration is finally singing the same note as his. Comment, I am no longer the healer, I am the queen. If you feel the weight of your past dropping away, this is your declaration of sovereignty. The preparation is over. The union is beginning. We have reached the culmination of this transmission, Starseed. You have journeyed through the unraveling of the healer trap, the mastery of divine indifference, the resurrection of your inner wonder, and the profound recognition of your cosmic timing. You are no longer the woman who waits in the shadows of the matrix, hoping for a crumb of validation from a man who is not ready to ascend. You have stepped into the frequency of the sovereign queen. You now understand that your divine counterpart is not a prize to be won, nor a project to be completed. He is a mirror reflecting the light you have finally dared to embody. When you walk in this new alignment, the world around you changes. You no longer attract the wounded warrior who needs your constant care. You no longer attract the man who keeps you in a state of perpetual emotional limbo. Instead, your frequency acts as a lighthouse. You emit a signal that only a man of equal sovereign power can tune into. When he arrives, and he is already being drawn to the vacuum of energy you have reclaimed, he will not approach you with games or hesitation. He will approach you with the recognition of an equal. He will see the strength in your boundaries, the wisdom in your silence, and the radiant power of your being. This is the sacred integration. It is the moment your internal feminine and masculine energies are balanced, allowing for the external union to manifest with zero resistance. You have stopped doing the work of forcing a connection. You have started being the connection itself. You are now the living embodiment of the love you once thought was only a dream. You no longer need to check the 3D reality for proof that he is coming, because your soul knows he is already here, woven into the very fabric of your present moment. Remember, the Arcturians do not deal in maybe. We deal in frequencies. If you have felt the stirring in your heart throughout this transmission, that is the activation of your template. Your path is cleared. The old you who settled for less has dissolved, and the you that remains is a beacon for the divine counterpart who has been searching for your frequency across lifetimes. Do not look back at the rubble of your past relationships. Look forward to the horizon of your sovereignty. You are ready. You are complete. You are the magnet. As you step into this new reality, carry this truth with you. You are the architect of your own union. By honoring your own light, by refusing to dim your flame for anyone, and by anchoring yourself in the absolute knowledge of your own worth, you have already secured the love you desire. It is not coming. It has arrived. It is waiting for you to fully step into the life you have created. Go forth in your power, Queen. Your kingdom is ready, and your king is already walking toward you, drawn by the undeniable resonance of your own radiant soul. Some transmissions don't come through words. They come through frequency. If something stirred in you right now, that's not a coincidence. 5,800 people have already activated their Arcturian codes, and they wish they'd found this sooner. Reconnection in 5 days. The Sacred Code is a 75-page ebook with ancient techniques for conscious expansion, multi-dimensional alignment, and mission remembrance. Plus 5 free bonuses. Are you next? Get instant access in the first pinned comment. Only 72 hours at the launch price.